Hello and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Now this is probably the last episode of this timeline, and it is, well, I have no idea how long it's going to be, is basically what I'm going to say next. It could be a 10-minute episode, it could be a 2-hour episode, who knows? It could be a 5-minute episode. We talk to this guy, he says, yep, handing it in, we get a final cutscene, and that's it. So who knows? Who knows where we're going next? But, oh yes, we need to open up what these things are. So, we suspect that the Insulindian phasmid that we met previously has stolen the boy which had all of the stuff that the previous one that we thought was over at the other side had in it. So, probably this is going to have Clashé's passport, that sort of stuff in here. There you go, evidence, Clashé's passport. Cool. Knew that was going to be in there. What's this one got in it? Oh, Fairweather T500 helmet. So this is the helmet part. That's the last piece of the armor. Okay. And then the rifle scope. Oh. Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown. Well, I don't think the helmet would have helped me anyway. It would have looked very impressive. Still, you found it all. Now your mortal coil is completely protected. Few cops are this futuristic. At least now I am truly invincible. Okay, cool. Just clothes-wise, we've now picked it up. Monstrous-looking bug-eyed ceramic helmet was in the phasmid's nest. Still some breed sticking out of it and smells of seawater, but it's otherwise wearable. If not exactly comfortable, putting it on feels scary somehow. Okay. Common sniper scope. Yeah, it's a sniper scope. Sure, whatever. And then we have the well-traveled passport with visa stamps in it. Is issued by the Republic of Orange. You found it in the phasmid's nest on the island. You can open it for more details. Okay, yep, it is issued to a black-haired woman named Katerzine Alage. Clashé's hidden documents. The lieutenant looks at it in your hand from the empty boy. Look at the photo. It's Clasché with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow. An old photo before life came and did what it does. What's this doing in the phasmid's nest? Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Clasché, or whatever her name was, a hiding place, or... I think the phasmid took it, and I sensed it to do so. I saw something open up the boy with spindly legs. Like a magpie? He looks around. What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other objects, which would be highly unusual. By now, the lieutenant accepts your unusual methods. I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island in the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it, but to seek out this would be very unusual behavior for an anthropod. Would it? Maybe it was simply curious. Maybe it was simply curious, like an octopus. An octopus belongs to a very different class. It's not even an insect, it's a mollusk. But yes, I see your point. It says, Katerzine Alage. He opens his nose. She said it would be for Anouk Major Smith. Anouk Major Smith. Katerzine Alage was supposed to be her real name. Where Clasché comes, remember? God damn it. I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now, another detective. Katerzine Alage was supposed to be her real name. She lied to us. Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us one more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now. Lieutenant smiles. What's her real name then? Oh, I don't know. But it was not Katerzine Alage or Anouk Major Smith or Clasché, whoever she is. When we get back, I need to warn our holding cells. We need to double the security around her. Let's put the passport away. Cool. So, we learned pretty much nothing there, but there we go. Whatever. You know, if we learned something from that, that would be extremely worrying.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now. Sir, how could you not see the phasmid?
See.
He stares at the reeds and falls silent.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, his gap-toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing. I'm going to touch his shoulder gently. The plastic cape feels coarse, a light shiver passes the man. Other than that, no reaction. He feels small and frail. He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. Lieutenant inspects him gently. The good news is this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross? The trembling mouth appears to sigh. Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid. What has happened to this man? Old age and shock. He looks at him, then you. I think it's the phasmid. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. He looks at you. But you think it's something more than that, don't you? There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke? Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now. Well, before, when I evaluated his state, he seemed strangely animated. He nods. He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medicine, I would expect worse. Perhaps his animation is induced by something in the phasmid. He does not seem animated now once it's left. He looks to the sea. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe it is psychoactive. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall. He takes off his glasses and cleans them. When he puts them back on, he's still staring at the sea. He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just the reeds for him. That could be part of the shock, but you're right. Something is off here. Mr. Dross. He touches the man's shoulder. No response. Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years. Then how did we see it? He thinks. Oh, you mean whatever does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks. Sightings are brief. It's not credible, but anyone who spends too long with it. Yes, you forget it's there. Lieutenant inspects the man. Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds? The old man stutters. The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse. Could it be that there's something hormonal in his relationship to the phasmid? You mean pheromonal? Yes, probably. He seemed a little off for a man his age. Randy. This go. Knowing her bruises, his disposition towards Miss Orange. He nods. I see what you mean. I talked to the phasmid. It said it's destroying him. You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you? Maybe. Anyway, it's only trying to remain unseen. The degradation is a side effect. A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching unknown species in the future, detective. He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it is in its company? He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect maybe... He looks at his notebook. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember this all. He shakes his head in disbelief. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo. No one would believe you without it. We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross. He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should. I'm going to show him the ceramic helmet. Nothing, just dull staring, not even rage left wherever he is. If Kono kicked it out into the sea as he said he did, the ebb would pull it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up, or the phasmid even. If it did, this is incredible. I'm going to show him the orange's passport. No reaction. His breathing is slow and he appears very old all of a sudden, around 80. Did you take this passport and other papers from the boy on the coast? He blinks, then continues to stare at the reeds. The spirit. He hears us. The spirit? No reply, he's gone again. Try something else. We got him back for a moment. I'm going to show him the detached scope. He turns his eyes to it. I lost. You lost it, Mr. Ross? He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times, beige and white stripes. He lost this scope then. It somehow made its way over there with the help of a magpie phasmid. Lieutenant observes lens sparkle in your hand. This sight is at T9, Mr. Ross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot? Silence, not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being. I'm going to let you rest now, Mr. Dross. The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal. Hang tight. We should think about getting back to the mainland to get help. He'll be safe here if we don't take too long. Alright then. Well, I mean, we found the killer. We have the motive. I mean, we're done, right? Found killer, have motive. There's nothing else to do. We have the murder weapon. We have a confession. We found the phasmid. There's literally nothing else to do. Right? Well, I mean... yeah, I guess we just go back to the mainland and call it in. We found the killer. We could play that music again on the way. That would be cool. On the boombox. Let's do it. Let's return to the mainland. Let's work it done here, he says, adjusting his glasses as he looks out over the water. The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff. Well, Lillian isn't here. I think that we are about to be confronted at the end of the game. Harry, we're here because we're worried. Oh no, it's an intervention.
Look what the tide brought in.
Says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly his expression changes and he tilts his head.
What is that? Fallen AC? What's with all the performance gear? Are you back in high school?
I love that they recognize we're just wearing basically full flan armor. Or well, not armor, but you know, full flan gear. Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the whirling in rags, but where are the sunglasses? No one else seems bothered by my flan gear.
Bothered by it, Harry? You're a goddamn cop! They're afraid of you!
Yes, I am a goddamn cop.
Actually, are you? Are you still a cop? There's so much disco going on, it's hard to tell.
Vic, calm down.
Wait, you're the man with the sunglasses!
That's right, and you're bleeding.
Forget about all this, there's a giant.
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
He points at you with both hands. Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heidelstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
Oh yeah, we have.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Mar, and this is your special task force, or what's left of it.
I have a whole task force?
Special Consultant Trent Heidelstein, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
Hi.
We have come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Precinct 57. We've just come from the island where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
he adds, suddenly regaining his confidence.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
No, Kim. You've got to have my back. Let's destroy them.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
She says warmly, flashing Kim the tiniest of smiles. Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you. What's this all about?
Ari, we want to help you. Trant, I believe this is where you come in.
Oh no. This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was beyond idiotic. You never should have you should never address her using those words again.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science.
Uh-huh.
My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trant, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
Shit kid. What an interesting moniker. Well, you mentioned a task force. Actually, you know what was a shit kid? You, shit kid, that's you. Maybe you've deserved it. How did you know I was here? The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went. I saved his establishment and he still betrays me. Strange, he didn't mention that. In fact, the establishment didn't look safe at all. There was a giant aerograffito in front of the building. It was on fire. Yeah, I lit it on fire. It was a poetic gesture. I knew it. Didn't I tell you, Trant? I told you it was our shit kid. The line is from Le Giton's Mirova 82, isn't it? It's about a girl-child communist. The titular returning character, the ghostly apparition of... He looks around and, noticing the impatience of his companion, stops himself. Good choice, Harry. He is correct. It was the Cerise poet, Le Giton, who, in the 50s of the last century, composed a... Don't encourage him, Trant. Okay. You aren't a man with the sunglasses at all. You're not even blonde. Guilty as charged. He exchanges a look with the special consultant. I heard you lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on. He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was. Maybe if you hadn't been so sarcastic, I would have realized that I knew you. I'm clinically depressed, Harry. Sorry if I wasn't in the mood to butter you up after you told us to fuck off. I don't like being lied to. I didn't lie to you. No one lies to you. You were so fucked up on booze you couldn't recognize your own partner. You? I'm sorry I didn't recognize you before. It's okay, she sighs. I didn't come here to gloat or to fool you. Neither did he, actually. She gestures towards Vikamar. We were just worried. That's right, worried. I'm always worried about you every time you don't show up to work or when you do, but stink. You're a worry fest. She's worried about you, I'm worried about you, even Special Consultant Backpedal is worried about you. Everyone worries instead of working. So Trent Heidelstamm turns out to be Special Consultant Trant Heidelstamm. Yes, I'm Trant Heidelstamm. I never said it wasn't Trent Heidelstamm. Wait, what was up with the kid then? Mikhail? Mikhail's my son. Oh yeah, what was up with all the interesting history? Spying on me? No, I was just interested in the fell building in the Martinez beachhead. And Mikhail wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence. Him being there with his son, it was not a coincidence. It's difficult to see, but he was worried about you. And also interested in the fell building. So why are you special consulting here? What indeed? He looks at the dilapidated shacks, then you. I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory. He's here to see if you're insane. He's smart. Let's move on. Duped again. No one says who they are. Duped. Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't get duped so easily. Gardner, scab leader, this. Tell me, Kim, At least are you who you said you were? Yes, I'm still Kim Kitsuragi, still a lieutenant from Precinct 57. Still caught up in this crossfire too. You mentioned a task force? Yeah, Major Crimes Unit under Lieutenant Dubois and Vikramar. Ring any bells? Refresh my memory, who else is in this? Refresh your memory, it's goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Yud, Trant fucking Idlestam, and Yulemain Vebi. He stares at you. I'm technically just a civilian advisor. Fuck you, you're part of this shit, so. Yeah, first, who's a Yulemain Vebi? Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. He's not smiling. Yulemain Vebi is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good, then he left, because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too, good, smart people we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here on Trant because I'm forcing him to stay. Is this Yulemain Bevy blonde and partial to sunglasses? Is this Yulemain Bevy blonde with sunglasses like you were? See there? He wags his finger at you. He's getting it. I was impersonating him. Look at me. I'm G Bevy. It was going to be funny, and then you really did have brain damage, so not so much anymore. He sincerely thought it was going to be amusing for both of you. Okay, so what's the unit do? Do? It's a major crimes unit. We are clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We're shit here now, Harry, because of you. They're your posse, or what remains of it. Hand-picked, hand-lost. The 41st isn't. He trails off, not wishing to finish the sentence. Where have you been all this time? Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember. He crosses his arms. You told us to fuck off. You said we were cramping your style. You're detective god. Fuck everything. All will burn. Detect or die. Well, I said all these things? I'm not like that anymore. Yes, you're sorry. You're the sorriest copies ever lived. Nothing has changed, Harry. We've heard this repentant shit over 1,000,000 times. None of this is ringing any bells. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage, Trant. He turns to the blonde. This is why you come in. How bad is it? Well, he doesn't have visible tremors. He talks without slurring. He can drive a boat. He's standing, reasoning, all good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic. Meaning you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, isola, pale, and so on. As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him and I don't want to be a snitch, he makes air quotes, but also mine with him before when Harry did not know who I was. It's all very interesting. Interesting. Yes, interesting. I have my theories. I'd like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, he turns to you. What do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically? Wait, socioeconomically? You think I'm so poor I lost my memory? Not when you phrase it like that, but I don't think critical theory... I know everyone thinks this is far-fetched pink academia stuff, but still, I don't think it should be off the table here. What? He lost his memory because of capitalism? No, not like that. I'm not talking about a Redford school here, but Harry, I asked you, what do you think happened? Well... To be honest, I think we just got drunk. Yeah, I drank so much I lost my memory and now I'm slowly recovering it. He's getting better. I can confirm he drank a lot of alcohol prior to it happening. I believe he drank. He turns to you. People do that, especially this one. What they don't do is forget their whole life because of drinking. But, Detective Vickmeyer, she interjects, he has blanked out before. I have? Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders, she pauses remembering. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural. Interesting! So, at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes, practice, and then used alcohol to get there, so to speak. What do you mean? Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all, something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. He gestures towards the scenery. Look at the ruins, the neon, listening to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years as a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on a world tape. To borrow a known metaphor, Harry's been pushed flat against it, total input. Hardwired to the free market, he nods confidently. He just needed for it to end. Okay, Trant, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that. He is not a cretin. And he is able to do work, if not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective. Well, line detective is good for now. For now, he looks at you then, Trant. I misphrased my question. He should have been as able to put his clothes on, use the potty, or do we need to get him on disability pension? What now? Now nothing, we're just going to stand here. Really? No, now we discuss that. He points to the water. What the fuck did you do to our motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry? Well, here's the thing. Tequila Sunset. I also jumped the canal, by the way. He grabs his stomach in humorless laughter. Tequila Sunset, jumped the canal. So funny, Harry. Thank you for fucking me. Thank you for destroying our 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of my payslip. You know that, right? You're going to get fired and I'm going to pay till I die. It doesn't matter. He exhales to calm his breathing. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge. Oh, I got my badge right here. In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand. Alright, we're proficient in catching small objects. Let's do it. Not today, badge. Behold my badge. The man is unimpressed by the piece of plastic in your hand. And your gun? He asks. I upgraded, as if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements. I upgraded my gun to a rifle. Here is the Triangong 446 rifle. Upgraded it? I don't care about your weapon mania, Harry. I only care about your official sidearm, which you lost. This is the Triangong 446, which used to kill a man from nearly a kilometer away. I don't care. Where's this gun the RCM gave you to kill people with? Where's that one? Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have my sidearm. I knew it. I told you we didn't have it. This isn't cause for celebration. It's bad. Oh, I would say it's very bad. He turns to you. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Please put the stolen rifle away before you kill someone. Well, let's see. I quit drinking forever. It's only me in this boring hellhole now. I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then, huh? He is wounded. He looks at you. It's been a long week and he's handled an actual corpse. Yeah, none of this matters. My odor situation is completely meaningless compared to what I've discovered. What you discovered? You let a suspect escape around the Ruby because you were too drunk to take her in. You went in wrong. We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuragi's, we know. Well, I'm tempted to do the bottom one, but I don't think that's gonna work. Yeah, she caught us in a pale latitude compressor. You know how much that hurts? Oh well, if it made you bobo. He rubs his face in frustration. I'm not even going to get into the 80 other suspects you failed to arrest. Or the fact you very likely sold your gun for booze. That's peanuts. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 8 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was a fucking mass murder. He did everything he could. Lieutenant interrupts him. We did everything we could. Company hired unvetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals. Here comes the cavalry. He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot not once but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. Loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. Yeah, I also solved the case. It's solved, all of it. Detective, I believe it's better if I do that, he says in a lowered voice. It's so much better if he does this, 1,000,000 times better. Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. He brushes a stray strand of hair out of his eye and coughs. You've spent weeks with them on this case. What is your take? On the case? On Lieutenant Yafretor Dubois. Well, he pulls up his collar, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week. Thank you for the lie, Kim. Appreciate it. See? 1 week. Then there's this self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least first-degree murder. It's not a good communication strategy for an officer. It's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian socio-economic. He wants to liquidate the ruling class, which again, for a police officer, is a little odd. You should yell something. That's not a good idea. Yeah, let's let the big boys talk. Other still, he is an ultra-liberal hustler who is always, he pinches the root of his nose, on the grind. How he reconciles these 2 points of view I do not know, but he is vocal about both of them. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the drugs, of course, some kind of anti-radiation drug he uses to induce visions. He breathes in sharply, but despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I've seen in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he is not the one to stop pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. And he solved it near perfectly. In 1 week we have a confession, a murder weapon, and a perpetrator locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over these years. He pauses. Oh, and he discovered a new species. A new species? A colossal stick insect who was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. We think we may have been dealing with the Insolindian phasmid. He takes out the photo and shows it to the officers across the yard. Thick white snow falls all around you. Flakes stick to the glossy photo of the phasmid. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind. As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, I think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered. I'm going to say nothing. Kim's handling this. Fucking hell is that? The man cranes his neck looking at the photo. Is that somehow connected to the case? Detective. He turns to you. Yes, I believe the pheromone it emits may be responsible for the killer's mental degradation. The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic. So it is connected. I must say this, he points to the photo, is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it. Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk. His tired eyes follow the photo as Lieutenant puts it away. This is a very, very sad man who's just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now it's time to make your case, now or never. Where are we going to go for it? How do we even go for this? The previous head of the Depardeurs Union was assassinated by our killer. Lieutenant lowers his voice just a little. This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez, where Everard and Edgar Tlar have ears everywhere. And eyes too. Your return from the island must not have gone unnoticed. Understood, of course. The case against Everard would be big. The consultant too has lowered his voice. I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related for political neutrality. This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention. The killer, Lilianovich Dross. We have a strong motive for him. Lilianovich? The special consultant raises an eyebrow. A revolutionary martyrdom. A revolutionary martyrdom? The custom started in Grad, where they all have patronyms. Krasovich, Larsovich, and etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they use martonyms derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lillian. He's Lillian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it too revolutionary. So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for your piece of cultural theory.
Turns to you.
So you said you have a motive.
Of course, excuse me. I just thought it was noteworthy. He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him. Well, all of these are motives, but I suspect that he killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy is the most straightforward.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man to have been hiding for 50 years, 70-something. A strange psychosexual fixation, aggravated possibly by proximity to the phasmidinous chemicals. He himself gave a political reason, said he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have a sniper's nest with a full view of the room in which the mercenary died, right on the island, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win. Oh, it's way more than that. Way, way more. It's way more than that. I'll win her back with this. Win who back? You don't even know her name.
That's not our professional relationships work, Harry. You found a straggler, the first since the 30s, kudos, but that doesn't change anything.
He buttons his jacket.
It doesn't hide the smell of booze on the wind either.
God damn it, doesn't it ever leave? It is there, like in your bones or something. We'll pass in time. Also, the phasmid was female, the reeds are its nest. Female? What makes you think so?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female and the nesting behavior too, I think.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things though.
He turns to you. Well, we have the gathered items. A helmet, a scope, and a passport. Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates. I still think it was a female. Oh, of course, as I said, I'm only guessing. I didn't see it. He pauses, turning something over in his head. It must have been robust, but it can move a whole helmet with its limbs. I get reduces by parthenogenesis. As in cloning itself, what makes you think so? It told me. Oh, he ignores your answer. Then it wouldn't matter if it's male or female. The bower would just be a rudimentary behavior from before the parthenogenic mutation. That makes sense, yes. Very interesting. He looks around, quickly assessing the coast. Such an organism is extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strand of bacteria could wipe out the whole species. We're probably looking at conservation efforts here. In his mind, he's already planning a nature reserve and knows a good guy for that. It had mandibles that looked like hair and was completely white on the inside.
Yes, but also reed-colored. Beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible, he repeats, turning to Vikmamar. The PR value of this is exceptional. Cop discovers new species. Maybe even Cop discovers the Insulindian phasmid. No, that's too much. This would really help with some of the problems we've been having. Absolutely, this is great. It does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest. He smiles. You know, it's a really good thing that you have that photo.
Without it,
he shakes his head. You're still doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still. There was also a dead man on the boardwalk, a missing person I found.
Yes, fallen through the gap in the boardwalk drunk.
How do you know I found him? The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of the funeral arrangements and the family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work for the missing person detective. I confiscated drugs from Kuno's dad.
Who is Kuno?
You don't want to know.
You're right, Lieutenant, I don't.
He turns to you.
You snorted the drugs. I know you did. It's alright. I mean, at this point, anything is but a drink.
I also looked into the mystery of the doomed commercial area.
He shrugs. I don't know what the doomed... What? a doomed commercial area is. Rue de Saint-Gazlan 10, a commercial building where all businesses go bankrupt. I looked into it. Why? That's not what you are supposed to do here. There was a fridge we needed, and a possible witness. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper. It was okay. Of course. She turns to Vikmar. Call it community outreach, right? Dodged the bullet there. For a moment it seemed like you were just wasting time. I also started a nightclub in the church. What was that? He cups his ears. The wind blows. It sounded like you said you set up a nightclub in the church. Yeah, I also discovered a hitherto unexplored introhonetic phenomenon in there too. A 2mm hole in the world. Oh, that's great. Anthroponaut. That's a great new career for you after police officer. I don't care. Go live in the Pale. Our kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there. It's okay. It's not that okay. Get off the subject now. So what do you say? Want to take this hot shit back? I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder. He shrugs. So I have to, Jude. A quick nod. Anything that ends the trial is okay with me. You haven't been drinking, she thinks. So maybe this time. Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go. Okay, he sighs. We have vehicles in the square and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go. Wait, I have a few questions before we go about who I am. The man looks westward impatiently, jiggling the car keys in his pocket. Who am I? Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry. What? Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but before? Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. She looks around. It's getting really cold outside. Maybe we should... A guerrilla soldier / gym teacher? No, he marks dryly. A regular one. No way, I was a flagellant monk. You haven't told us about that. You just told us about being a gym teacher. Well, that does explain a lot. Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair. The collection of flan sportswear I've amassed. Your moves on the church floor, which honestly were jump aerobatics. Your use of the word graffito. Also, this guy, just everything about this guy. God, even this javelin throwing freak here. Oh God, contact Mike. Of course, contact Mike. He has been on about Mike again. The detective shakes his head. I hate that guy. But Contact Mike is the reprise of the most inspiring basic sporting principle of open competition. A 5,000 to 1 rank outsider. Oh, you don't say. He arches an eyebrow. Does he also vaults an impassable gulf of finance and privilege? It is getting cold out. She looks around at the dilapidated fishing village. What was this? When was I a gym teacher? In your 20s or late 20s. You've really let yourself go since then. He looks you over. You said in Coron I was a gym teacher there? Yes, you taught gym in Coron. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at high school. You were a high school gym teacher. The smell of sweat and glue. The worn floorboards. Coron is just east of Jamrock. It was a short walk every morning to the baseball field of the sports building. High school, Larry. Your goings on with Kuno, Andre, Isel, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you're so juvie. The smirk suggests barely contained laughter. Why did I join the RCM then? The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are, all that. You, every morning walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She leaving from the academy with her spring coat on, the air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope. Okay, I see now. I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher. Why am I like this? It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you're a drunk. Some chick? Who? Dora something. Dora Ingolund. Yeah, he thinks. Yeah, you mentioned her name.
Okay. Not Dora Dubois. So we weren't even married?
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. You think 6 years ago? She was way before my time.
6 years and you still haven't gotten over it? What the hell is wrong with you? 6 years?
Yeah, that was 7. You're not doing too good there. It's old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora Ingolund really tore you a new one, a big one.
Who was she?
Incredibly bangable.
No, I mean, what did she do?
She was incredibly fuckable, a beautiful turquoise woman, wayfish, like a Welkin basically.
Snow Welkin, Blonde Welkin, Heartbreak Welkin.
I've only seen a picture, but it's obviously formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was when you never recuperated from.
Look. He turns to face the sea. The sun is about to go down. It's time to go home.
I think she taught in the academy to ours, east of the river, way east. Hard to say which came first, the middle class chick or the drink, egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit, not a psychologist. It's several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? He pauses to think. A forensic psychiatrist. Go talk to that.
In other words, he's heard enough about this. Precinct 41. What kind of situation is it? What kind of station is it, sorry?
Us, we're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? We're the bad guys, no one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just understaffed, and everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
You're being kind.
It is an understaffed station, and the district is too big, which is why we need two.
He tilts his head northward. Get back to it. We left Torsten and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good. Yeah. So, did we recently shoot up a church by any chance?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may be a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear. What happened? Why did we go there?
Our enemies were hiding in a church. To the best of our information, that's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
Your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters. Torsen and McLean? Mac, the Torsen, and Chester McLean. She arches an eyebrow. They're not fit to run a wing, believe me. Things are shaky as it is. They are damn iconic, though. Torsen and McLean. An iconic duo, I take it?
Yeah, but not like us, two clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here? We're garbage.
And Sea Wing is?
Gods, he sighs. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake.
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. He smiles. Other losers too. He's anything but a loser, although he would like to be seen as one. It's cooler that way. And Price is? Ptolemy Price. He's the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force. You're lucky.
Somewhere under a curved roof of a former silk factory shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys, Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. Resident medic Nix Gottlieb pours some coffee. It's silent in the captain's office. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May. So I work in the bloody murder station.
Okay, it's not a bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Revachol. Valberg, technically, but is divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over, he says in a reassuring tone. Jamrock is lucky to have you. It's often considered to be the greatest of districts, and you're lucky to have it. Thank you again, Lieutenant.
The Phasmid, I need to tell Lena about this ASAP.
Who is Lena?
She lives at 113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock, remember? A cryptozoologist. She lives in Jamrock on Tabernacle Road. She told me about this Phasmid. Tabernacle? It's on the way over, near where you live, on Perdition. She looks at Vicwamar.
Fine, if we're going to drop you off anyway.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the phasmid. It's their discovery in part. They should know as soon as possible. B, it would do you some good to deliver positive news for a change. She's going to be over the moon. Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now? Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all this. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain. About what? Oh, please say he wants to join our precinct. He pulls up his collar and looks around, the cold spring light reflecting in the lens of his glasses. Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate. You want to do that at Station 41? Dr. Captain Price, I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering. No, I meant investigate. Come work in Precinct 41. Work with Price? A crooked smile quivers on his lip. I'm flattered. I don't know if I would fit in. I'm crazy enough, can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss. Flattered. You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered. The man turns very serious all of a sudden. I would have to tie things up in GRIH first, but I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor. And we have a huge caseload, Lieutenant, she says with a smile. Piles that need to get back to, mountains even. I do like the sound of that. Hey, achievement for recruiting Detective Kim Kitsuragi. He returns her a smile. He really is considering it. I'm ready. Good. She looks at you then, Vikwamar. Fuck it, let's go. The man points in the street. Trant brought us his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock. Under the noonday sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses. 80,000 living souls and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41. To Boogie Street forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Grimoire, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Thorson, yes. McLean, yes. Adelstam, no. Vikwamar, yes. Dubois, of course. Really? Nick's Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing, Captain. Ptolemy Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim lit in the office and the curtains are drawn. Ari's our man, he'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the people. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minois, of course. Wonderful. The woman looks north. Then can we please go back to Jamrock now? Oh yeah. And that's it. That's Disco Elysium. That was awesome. I'm at, like, this game is so good. It's hard to put it into perspective how good it is, because it kept going with everything. And I don't know whether there was an illusion of choice or not, because it seemed like you could do so much. It referenced so much of what you did throughout the game. It was constantly like, you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. There was a back and forth. It was a dialogue system that made sense, as it constantly confronted you, if you know what I mean. It constantly came to you and said, hey, you did this, why did you do this? What were you thinking? What was the purpose of this thing that you did? How does it lead into more of it? And it moved the story along, and it was great. But we're not quite done yet. There's a little bit more to do. Harry and Kim are not finished. They need to get in their DeLorean, and they need to go back in time. They need to go and need to figure out whether we can stop that, well, those 8 people dying. And we know what we need to do. There's only one place left to go. What we've got to do is we've got to go back to the to the island. We've just got to get to the island earlier. We also need to speak to to that smoker, and then that's it in terms of what we need to do. So probably I'm trying to think who we need to speak to find out about the island, right? Maybe we just need to go back to Claget's room? Go back to Claget's room and then speak to the guy, maybe. As in, speak to the smoker guy. Maybe one of those would lead us somewhere. I have no idea what the smoker on the balcony tells us. I mean, we got this guy here. He voiced Smoker on the balcony, but he's only named Smoker on the balcony. He doesn't have a name, which is interesting, because if he doesn't have a name, he might not be that important, but maybe he is. Okay, that's intriguing. Oh, I didn't see whether there were any here I hadn't looked at. I think we've seen every one of them, but it's interesting. I also gotta say, this music is good, but incredibly loud. I'm gonna turn it down on my end, and then turn it back up on your end. So, that would have no effect to you, but... yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's the right way to go with it. But this game, it's just so well written as a thing. Like, it leads you forward. It has, like, great moments. Like, the Interrogate phasmid at the end is such a great moment of build-up, because the whole way through it's like, nothing is basically a whole game of nothing is good. Everything is just garbage, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's no magic in this world. And then, right at the last second, it goes, Interrogate phasmid. It exists. It's real. And you just go, what? The same with the Pale moment, where we find out about the Pale emitter, where they just go... they do this thing with the weird lights, and it just... again, it's one of these fantastic things that just completely throws you off. I like it. Interesting. Okay, I was just seeing what else it had in there. Oh, in the credits there. I did see Chris Avalon, and I did know that he did a bit with this. And everything he touches seems to be gold. I don't know how much of an impact he had, but the previous big CRPG I played before this was Pathfinder Kingmaker, which I believe he was also involved in. So it's like everything I really like has a bit of him in there. Like, he also did back in the day. I think he was involved in Fallout New Vegas and in like Knights of the Old Republic 2, another two games I love the writing of. So I guess it's just his style. Anyway, well, this is the end of what we have now. But join me probably tomorrow for a look back in time. Now, I've decided for how we're going to do it. If we've seen the dialogue before, I'm going to skip through it. And that's going to make it go a lot quicker, right? So it's basically going to be, we go forward, and if there's dialogue we haven't seen before, we'll go through it. If we have seen it, we just skip it, and that means that if we, for instance, have to go and talk to the fire guy again, whatever his actual name was, then that Lilianovich, I think was his actual name. But if we go and speak with him again, that entire conversation's not going to take as long, because we're just going to pile through it till we get to new stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. Also wonder whether the game would end the moment you speak to him, and like you come back to the island, whether that is the end of the game. Because that's intriguing, because he tells you what the Pale is. So in theory, you could go to him earlier. But then maybe you have to figure out who Ruby is, and then when you come out of there, it gives you something? I don't know. Because Ruby seems to be the trigger for the fight in the square. Maybe the fight in the square never happens if you find the guy first. But it did also say, did you have all your armor? As in, all your armor for the fight in the square. Like, it said when we found the last piece of the armor, shame you didn't have that for the fight in the square. So maybe that implies that we could have gone to the island first and come back. I don't know. Anyway, we'll find this all out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.